Hello, hello, hello on this beautiful Thursday evening. I just love this weather. It's not too hot. I mean, it got kind of hot, but it's not too hot. And especially right now in the evening, it's just gorgeous. These are the kinds of evenings. Once the sun went down, I used to like to drag a mattress out to the backyard uh, and sleep outside just because it was so warm. It's just wonderful. So, greetings, everyone. Thanks to those who are here live and those who are watching the recording. And if you are participating, if you're live right now, please say hello so I can say hello back. And yeah, I've got some fun stuff to talk about. I've got a video to show you that was somewhat inspired by last night. And yeah, I hope we have a little fun time of sharing. So without further ado, let me get this going here. And it's a one-person show, so to bear with me because I'm a little slow. So let's do this. All right, update. Not only do we have an update, we have a comment. So, look who's here. Look who's here. Champagne Music Box is with us tonight. Hooray, hooray. And let me show you this, my friend. Let me just show you this real quick. Hang on. So the way I've got it set up, see where my mic is? I've got the boom arm actually below me, and it's blocking my right arm getting to my laptop. So I'm doing everything with my left, which makes it a lot of fun because I've got the left corner is my, here we go. So let's do this. And I wanted to show you what we're doing here. If I don't want to show you, I think it is. Let's just see. Yeah, so there's going to be a bit of a lag, but there I am. Oh, yeah, there's the mystery infinite screen. But I'm live on Twitch for the very, very, very first time. And that's just extremely exciting to me. And I just wanted to show that to you because you are my inspiration. Yes, you are. So I'll get rid of that because the infinite screen is kind of irritating. But I could do it as a second camera, I suppose. I'd have to just work that out a little bit. But yeah, I think Twitter would be kind of fun just to see if a different sort of viewership arises, because Twitter's an awful good, fun platform. I know that when I just have to admit that one of the things I look forward to is Wednesday nights because of Welcome to My Brain. It's a live streaming show that's on Twitter, and it's just a lot of fun. There's probably, I don't know, sometimes up to 10 people or so. And we've been doing it long enough. It's just a small group. We know each other and just have a lot of fun chatting and going back and forth. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And it inspired me to do it because I just like the Twitch format. So using StreamYard on Twitch is kind of fun. So that's one of the updates. The other update is that I'm going to shorten the name of the show to It's About Us. Forget the first part. It's not about me. Forget it. That's just too many words. So I'm just going to make it It's About Us. And simple. And I was also looking at, you can see up at the top, let me get my hand going here, where it needs a background, right? Because it's really hard to read. Even though it's black font, it's hard to read. So I'm going to redo that overlay and put a little background on it. But yeah, very, very fun. And Champagne Music Box, I added another poll to the group based on your suggestion to talk about weekends versus weekdays. And I noticed that at the bottom of the poll, there's a little box that says to add an option. So if you ever see a poll, whether it's me or anybody, and you think there should be an additional question or questions, feel free to add to it. Because there's a lot of things that I don't think about, right? And that was one of them, weekends versus weekdays. And just to let some of the cat out of the bag. And is it today, I was thinking about maybe doing a children's type show with a puppet. When I was growing up, Sherry Lewis and Lamb Chop was one of my favorite TV shows. And it was very, very, it was just fun and, make believe. And growing up when I was in kindergarten, I put on a puppet show for the kindergarten. It was marionettes. It wasn't, hand puppets. It was marionettes with the strings and everything, but it was just a gas, and I had a ventriloquist doll, and I played around with, puppets. Went to a puppet maker's house with my second grade teacher's son was studying puppeteering, and he had a studio where he was making his own puppets in where was he? I think it was in Hanford. It could have been Fresno, but one day we just traveled over to his shop and he showed me around, and I was pretty much enthralled. In a way, it's funny. Many of my childhood interests and dreams never saw any fruition. I never followed up on any of it, even though with the puppet thing, my parents bought me a puppet house, like a theater, and bought me puppets. And maybe it's just my personality that I'm just not a follow through kind of guy. So I've got some questions here. Let me catch up to some questions. Am I still streaming to Facebook too? Yes, I'm streaming to the It's Not About Me, It's About Us Facebook group page. I'm streaming to YouTube, and I'm streaming now to Twitch. So and it's a good question, because I'm also thinking about maybe just using the group to communicate and talk about the show and everything. But actually using Twitch and maybe YouTube as my primary go-to sources. So we got here. You're there on Twitch? Yeah, great. And honestly, I'm not attached to streaming on Facebook or YouTube or any platform. It's what works, right? And it's where the audience is. It's like if you want to greet people and talk with people, if you sit in your house all day like me, you're not going to see anybody. You got to go where people are, right? And if Twitch is where people end up being, that's where I'm going to end up going. YouTube's cool, but sweater puppets. You're going to have to elaborate. I know what a sock puppet is, but a sweater puppet, I'm not sure exactly what a sweater puppet is. You're going to have to elaborate. I went online today and I was just looking at puppets. Some different companies, they make puppets, and some of them are more elaborate than others. Not just do you move them. Some don't. The mouths don't move at all. You just work the hands. Some has a mouth, and then you use your other hand to do the arms. Some have the little sticks that you use the arms. No, not for me. That's way too much. But a hand puppet with just the mouth, that could be cool. So I don't know what you're sorry about, my friend. You don't have to be sorry for anything. But you got lost on Facebook. Some of the things that I've been hearing about, Facebook does make it a little bit more complicated. And I don't know why, but, for those of us that are here, live streamers, it's just the three of us. I know Saturday mornings, they broadcast at noon on the East Coast. It's called Live Stream Reviews. It's put on by StreamYard. And so in the morning, I get my breakfast and coffee together, and then about 9 o'clock, I log on and I watch it. And they've got people coming on with their shows, sort of, so they can give them some critique and feedback. And over again, I did not stream to my profile page. I was only streaming to the group page because the plan that I have, it's not the free one, it's the basic one, I guess. I can only stream to 3 platforms. And so since I wanted to add Twitch, that meant I had to get rid of something. And so I got rid of my profile page. Yeah. So that's why I couldn't find it there. It wasn't there. I'll have to figure out a better way to send an invite so that you get the proper location to things. And maybe I'll put, the location for all 3 streams, and you can just decide which one you want to do. Some people like YouTube. From what I've discovered, I've got the ability to post a comment. But when I do, it does not show up on the Facebook page. It shows up on the YouTube channel. Now, I don't know if it would show up on Twitch or not. That's a good experiment. I'm going to add something real quick here. I'm just going to say hello. So let me say hello. There it is. In the chat. There you go. Bye-bye. And yes, so it showed up. Okay, so I just see it here now. It showed up on my YouTube channel, and it showed up on my Twitch channel. So that's good information, right? So if I want to communicate using chat, like if I wanted to drop the link into the chat for people to click on, if I wanted to, just give it a quick invite, I could do something like so, right? And just dump it into the chat like that, and people could come onto the show right from either YouTube or Twitch, but they can't do it from Facebook. It's a drawback, right? So I like Facebook a lot, but a couple of things. Doing the announcement, it doesn't go out to everybody. It only goes out to people that are watching my page, right? It's very limited. So it's not very effective, I would say, in getting the word out for people to make, unless I have to do a personal invitation. And oh my gosh, I could, yeah. And but I'm not sure that that's what I want to do. You want to elaborate a little bit on that, Ruben? What is it? So tomorrow night is Cali Cocktail Hour, and so are you streaming just through the group page, or your profile page, or I guess I'm thinking you do Twitch and YouTube also. Let me know. Open forum talk. There's benefit to that, right? There is. And since you get to see the person backstage, whether they're well lit, whether they've got a good camera, profile page. But yeah, you can really vet them backstage and let them know, hey, your lighting's not good enough, or you need a microphone, maybe, I don't know, or, yeah, it's risky, but you know what? I like taking risks, and I trust people for the most part. And I think that I know, Ruben, for your show, Cocktail Hour, the people that come to it, pretty decent folks for the most part, right? So I wouldn't be too scared about that. And I feel the same way about my show. Not hardly anybody that shows up, but the people that do show up, I feel are safe, right? And the people who are on Twitch are we're all I include myself in this. We're all a little questionable. So and I'd have to admit that about half of what I wrote I deleted. I just couldn't go there, but it was fun. Just reading what I was thinking was fun. So yeah, it is. It's a wild card. You get what you get. You never know what you're going to get. And you never know, something might come up that strikes a chord with everybody. Everybody's thinking about the same thing, so that's cool. A lot of things are happening. Sacramento County is now in the orange tier, but it's not going to matter in a couple of weeks because June 15th, we're getting rid of the tier system and we're not going to know where we're at, right? We don't know if we're getting better, if we're getting worse, we're not going to know. So, but I was telling someone, even though that's going to happen, the fact that we got into the orange tier is a good sign that everything's moving in a nice direction. So that's cool. That's cool. But yeah. So if you're watching and you haven't said hi yet, please do so that I can say hi back and greet you. And if you are watching this on the recording, please drop a hello in the comments section so that I know you were there, and possibly send you an invitation to come to the live show, which right now is at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, Thursday evenings. So anyway, so if I was to do a children's show, to get back to that with the puppets and everything, not exactly Mr. Rogers, so like Mr. Strange Man, probably more like it. It'd probably be like a Saturday morning, but that would interfere with my live stream review thing that I have enjoyed so far. But life's about making choices, and it's one of the choices I'm going to have to look at. And it will take some time anyway, because I've got to practice, doing the whole talking without moving my lips a whole lot, so I can do something like this and change my voice a little bit. You can see my lips move, so it's stupid, right? But just practicing, it takes time and do all that. And then by the time I figure out how to do it, I'll probably decide not to do it, but that's how I am. Anyway, last night during Welcome to My Brain, we watched a video of a woman at probably Yellowstone taking pictures of bears and how foolish that looked, right? Reminded me of something that showed up on social media not long ago, and you may have seen it. And let me see if I'm going to pull it up, and we're just going to take a look at it here briefly. So here it is. I'll make it full screen. Get some audio. It's really wild. I'm telling you, it's crazy stuff. And here we go. Have you seen this one? This is nuts. Oh my gosh. That's nuts. Here, let's get rid of this now. Because we don't need to see that little other thing about Dallas, whatever that was. That was nuts. And apparently I was looking on YouTube, and there's all kinds of news stations that have carried it and done interviews with her. I'm guessing she just reacted. Those are her dogs, and she just didn't even think about it. And that was wild. I mean, that's a story to tell, right? How you pushed a bear off a wall. Yeah, she was brave, but I wonder, brave. Yeah. I wonder if, I knew what you meant, brother. Sometimes, brave, I don't think she would ever, I haven't listened to an interview with her, but I'll bet you she does not see herself as a brave person. She simply reacted. And I think if she had thought about it, she might not have gone out there. Right? I think sometimes bravery is simply reacting in that situation in the moment, and it reveals your character because you're not thinking about it. You're just doing it. And other people will look at it because they thought about it and decide, well, I wouldn't, you were so brave. But I don't think it's about bravery. I think it's just about doing what you think is the right thing in the moment without too much thought. So, yeah, that was when I saw that, I'm like, holy mackerel. First of all, I'm not sure I'd live anywhere where there are bears that close, She said she wouldn't do it again. Yeah, that does not surprise me. That does not surprise me. Yeah, it was just, She didn't think about it. She just did it. Those are her dogs. She loves her dogs. She went into protection mode and did it without thinking about it. And I would hope that my character is such that if I was in a situation where I didn't have time to think about it, that I would do the right thing, just automatically go on autopilot and just do the right thing. Freak out later, but do the right thing without thinking about it. Oh, you saw an interview? Yeah, cool. I thought about that, but then I'm like, no, I might later, just to hear her, because you see the beginning of it and you see the very end of it, and I'm sure there's more story on either side. Why was I mean, that was definitely a mama bear with cubs. Why was she there in the first place? And we don't know. Was she looking for food? Do they live on the edge of a village next to a forest? That would be interesting to know. And then afterwards, after she got back indoors with her dogs and realized what she had done, how did she feel? Did she freak out? So I'm sure there's more of the story. And whoopsie. And she wouldn't do it again. Yeah, that does not surprise me. So what else is new? Not a whole lot. There are things happening in the country that I listen to lots of podcasts, and there's a lot of things going on. I was listening to what's been happening in the Texas legislature, with, the Democratic part of the House walking out to keep from having to vote on a bill. And it meant they didn't have a quorum and they couldn't vote on it. But the governor, who's very conservative, wouldn't let it go. He says, I'm going to call everyone back for a special session. So now they got to think of some new way of seeing if they can thwart that bill, which is a voter suppression bill. So we'll see how that goes. I guess our former president, he who shall remain nameless, had a blog for a while. It's very exciting. It's on the cutting edge of social media. But it's over. I think it lasted 90 days. And he was so upset that he didn't have the readership that he wanted, that he pulled the plug. Que sera, sera. That's the way it goes, right? Doesn't break my heart any, but it's just interesting to see all that stuff. And I guess he's under the impression that he will be reinstated as president probably by the end of August. That's what he's thinking. I don't know why I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, pretty much he is. Huh. Yeah, he is. And in a sense, I don't know, were you paying attention when his niece, she wrote a book about him and about the family, about his relationship with his father? And, I lay a lot of his personality at the feet of his parents. I really do. The way he was treated, the way he was brought up and raised. Oh, well, I'm going to put this out there, but that's a problem, right? Because it's still going on. And unfortunately, this is true, but unfortunately, those people happen to be right now the Republican base. And so all the Republican elected officials who want to get reelected, and they all do, they don't want to buck the base, even if they might not hold to those extreme ideas and policies. They don't want a challenger running against them knowing that they would lose, because it's just like we've got this Congresswoman, Marjorie Taylor Greene. So his dad sucked. Yeah, big time. Yeah, big time. Yeah, big time. And if you wanted some, I don't know if it's still there, but I know on Netflix there was a documentary on the life of Jared Kushner. our ex-president's son-in-law. I about choked on his name. Very enlightening. You know, they were like two peas in a pod. Very, very similar upbringings, right? So, yeah. But someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you've got Josh Hawley, you've got what's the guy in Florida? Oh, his name escapes me. He's got the strangest hair combs his hair the strangest way. Weird, but you know, each their own. Whatever. Gates, Matt Gates. That's the name. Yeah, and he's an interesting cat too. Read a little bit about him and his car accident that he had before he started running for offices, and how he got out of the car accident situation. Anyway, that's when he was younger. Interesting stuff. The other big news, this is to me big news, is that it looks like Bibi Netanyahu is on the way out as Prime Minister of Israel. Now, is that going to be good or bad? Oh, this is funny. This is funny. Daddy Dearest. Do you know who Mommy Dearest was? That's a little project to work on. I'm sure someone out there knows. So Netanyahu and this other guy, which I don't remember his name, they pretty much tied, right? But Netanyahu had been prime minister, so whoever makes these decisions said, we're going to give you the opportunity to make a government, and you have X number of days to do it. And he failed. So they held another election. Same results. Make a government. Failed. Had another election. Make another government. It failed. 3 fails, right? So they finally decided to let the other guy make a government, right? Well, he has partnered with another far-right conservative nationalist. His last name is Bennett. And they have actually come to an agreement to form a new government in Israel. One of the things they've decided to do is have a rotating prime minister role. So one of them gets to be prime minister for 2 years, and the other one gets to be prime minister for 2 years. The guy that's coming up first is this guy Bennett, who we don't know, but he may be just as conservative, I'll put it that way, try to be nice, as Netanyahu. Who knows? I don't know. But you see, Netanyahu, he if this works, he will no longer be prime minister. He'll be a private citizen. He's been indicted for crimes over there, and he will now be reachable by the courts. And so we'll see how that all plays out. Crazy stuff, right? Crazy, crazy stuff. The world's, I don't know. I was listening to another podcast a couple days ago, and the guy on it he's really bright. He worked for President Obama, foreign relations, and you know, he was talking to someone British, talking about what's going on over there, maybe about hotcakes over there too. But he was saying that as he's traveled around the world talking to different people, he sees the world moving in a direction that's more authoritarianism based and nationalistic based than in his lifetime he's ever seen. So we'll see. We'll just see what happens. We're living in a very tenuous time right now, and just have to be vigilant and do what we can, right, to try to make our country and this world a better place. Good times, right? Good times. So I just like to keep abreast of what's going on. Not that I can do anything about it. I'm just curious, right? So we'll see. We shall see. I'm looking forward to my eye appointment. It's on the 9th. That'll be cool, right? Because I don't mind not having my glasses on. Get my eyes real big like that, you know, it's kind of dramatic. But it's different looking. It takes some getting used to. I've seen myself with glasses for so long, right? It takes a little bit of getting used to. My face is getting accustomed to it too. For the longest time, the ear pads had created these little dents in the side of my head, boop, and it kind of hurt after a while. They were uncomfortable. Now I haven't been wearing any glasses now for over a week, and my, whatever is under there, the subcutaneous fat starting to fill back in, and so I'll get glasses, and they'll be nice to use when I need them, and I just might not wear them all the time like I was. It was convenient to wear them, but I might not, just for the comfort. But it's an exciting thing next week. I've got another microphone on order. So I'll be switching this baby out. This was the microphone I started with when I started my podcast because A, it was inexpensive. B, it had all the features that I wanted in order to record using my little field recorder, the Zoom H6. I was also able to use it in recording Zoom conversations, getting the audio off the Zoom before I learned about all this other stuff. I no longer need all those functionalities. And this microphone is a little bit simpler. It's also made by Zoom. I like Zoom. Zoom's a great company. And I've been buying my equipment through Sweetwater, which is back east. They mostly have equipment for musicians, but like I've got my Focusrite 2i2, and I've got a cloud lifter. I think I'm going to have to buy another cloud lifter. But I've got that from them. I think the boom arm I got from Amazon because I don't know why. Cheap, I guess. Did I say breast? You know what that makes me have to remember what I said. And I can't. Maybe I said abreast. I like to keep abreast of things. I like to keep abreast is one word, not two. Like I don't want to keep abreast of things, but abreast of things. And don't you love English? I know, it's so fun. It's in a lot of ways, English is a really strange language. But in any event, so it's exciting. So it should arrive, I'm guessing Monday. I'll have a new microphone to play around with. So I'll have two. So I've been using, I've got two condenser mics, which are on loan to me. And now I'll have two, dynamic microphones, which are better for podcasting and live streaming audio. The condenser mics have been really good. They weren't cheap. I'm looking forward to giving them back. But their sound quality was nice and crisp, but they pick up too much sound, right? So I'm using them I'm a host of a podcast through the cathedral, and I interview parishioners, right? And then we sit across from each other. And the big problem is bleed over. My voice is picked up by their microphone. Their voice is picked up by my microphone. It can make the sound a little bit wonky because there's just those milliseconds of delay, right? So I'm looking forward to getting another dynamic microphone. So I'll have two, and I think the sound quality will just go up another notch, which I'm always looking to do things better, right? No matter how good you are, you can always be better. That's what I think. Anyway, so those are some things I'm looking forward to. I know last week I talked about using Loopback to do a call-in show, and I created a Google Voice telephone number for the Cathedral podcast that I'm doing, and I've got an email account that I've used with my podcast, and so since I've got two email accounts, I can have two Google Voice numbers. So I'm thinking about creating another Google Voice number, and using that to do a call-in show, and using Loopback to bring that audio into the live stream. So I'll probably start working on that soon. Um, I'm getting closer and closer to finishing the video that I'm doing for the Sacramento Valley chapter of the American Guild of Organists. And it's going to be almost an hour long. I worked most of the morning on the credits. Now I've just got to do some fine tuning with the video clips. And I may very well have that in the can by the end of the week. But now that would be exciting. That'll free up a lot of time for me. But it's going to be cool. And I from when I was talking with my friend Rex, who's a member of the guild, he and I are working on it together. And I asked him, I said, so how are you going to, show it? And apparently the AGO has their own media outlets. And so they'll be showing it. And I'm going to make sure that I get an opportunity to share it with my friends. And if not the whole thing, then we can do clip by clip, one a week. Some of them are long. I think one of them is like 6 minutes. That's the longest. Excuse me. But some are like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes long. Easy to do in a live show, just to go through them and show the organs and what they sound like and what they can do and everything. One more thing about last night. It really inspired me. I was so inspired from last night. I got to tell you. All the fun that we have and all the goofing around and wacky things that take place. And I have so much fun. And so tonight, this is what I'm drinking. I got my little Pilsner going, Mr. Uli, Mr. Champagne Music Box. And it's from Sudwork Brewery in Davis, right? Little Pilsner action. I'll bet you didn't think I was paying attention last night, did you? Gotta love that Pilsner. Anyway, the show always makes me happy. And it always goes by too fast. But if it was longer, I'd probably say, oh, it's too long. I'm bored. So it's probably just right, actually. Leave them wanting more, right? Not less. Leave them wanting more. And on that note, I got one more thing to share. A little bit of a meltdown before tonight's show. Yeah, I haven't been there in a long time, Uli. Long time. It's right there, right off the freeway. I mean, it's a great location. Yeah, it's a good brewery. Yeah. So I use my iPhone as my webcam, my camera, right? And it uses this thing called something that I can't remember right off the top of my head. It's called Camo, Reintegrate Camo or something like that. Anyway, got an update yesterday, I think. And I downloaded the update and thought everything was, hunky dory. And so I go to use it and it said, well, it didn't finish the update. Here's what you got to do. So I finished the update, right? Got everything turned on and guess what I had? I had no picture. I'm like, oh, that's not good. This is at 6:30, half an hour to go. I've got no picture. So I start fooling around with things and fooling around. So now it's like 6:40, no picture. I thought, you know what? Let's just reboot the computer. Just do a restart, right? Solved it. As you can see, I have a picture. 9 times out of the 10, when I do an update, I have to do a restart. I think they should tell you that. So when you finish the update, it should say, in order for this update to finalize, you have to restart your computer. But they don't tell you that. You got to figure that out. Thank you very much. So with all the stuff that I've been through, I should be like a consultant, right? Is it plugged in? It's not working. Is it plugged in? Have you turned it on? Have you rebooted your computer? Those are the top 3 things. If something doesn't work, those are the top 3 things. And if those 3 things don't work, then get a great big sledgehammer and go to town because it's over. No, not really. It's expensive. I wouldn't. That's stupid. So I probably would not make a good consultant because my advice would probably not be the one that helped. Oh, well. It'd be fun, though. All right, guys. So I'm done. If there's anything anybody wants to chat about for the next couple of minutes, that'd be great. I'm going to check in over my Twitch because I can actually got it on a tab here and I can see. Oh, check that out. I'm gonna hang on. This is my it's kind of cool. So Ruben, your name is in purple, and Uli, your champagne music box is in green. And oh, check this out. Someone Dragon is Waka, Graconis Waka is following me as of 6 minutes ago. So I'm going to say hello to that person. That's interesting, right? Hang on. Do I know what I'm doing? Probably not. Probably not. No. So anyway. Whoopsie. See, that's the other thing. I don't have a shock guard on this. And so when I hit my boom arm, it's a horrible sound. Terrible. I apologize for that. And when I tap on the table, yeah, you can hear all that. So I could be a percussionist, I suppose. But anyway, in the microphone that I'm getting, it's supposed to have a little bit of a shock system on the inside. But I saw a review and it's not perfect. And it doesn't come with a shock system. And apparently there's not one ready-made that will actually fit. So, yeah, we'll see. I'll figure it out or I won't. One of the two. So that's sad. Is it something somebody said? I don't know. I'm sorry, Uli. I'm sorry, but that's what happens, right? I mean, people have it's not their thing. It's my thing. It's obviously your guys' thing, but it's not their thing. So people make choices. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Have a beer. Or as Walter would say in The Big Lebowski, oh, I can't say this. Oh, I could, but I'm not going to. He would say, F it, dude, let's go bowling. That's what he'd say, right? F it, dude, let's go bowling. You know, just let it go. Do something you enjoy. Right? Yeah, the way it goes. Oh, well. Anyhow, so I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed y'all being here, Ruben and Uli. A lot of fun. And like I said, I think it'll be fun to sit down and it ties the room together, does it not? Obviously, he was not a golfer. It's one of my favorite movies. One of my favorite, I saw a video. Someone did a compilation video, and they only took clips of when someone said the F word. And the funny thing about it is if you've seen the movie and you watch that little clip, doesn't last very long, you know exactly what's going on in every scene because he says that word so many times. I mean, yeah, it's one of my favorite movies too. This aggression will not stand. I mean, it's just, there's so many that I'm finishing my coffee. I can get you a green toe. I mean, it's just so many, there's so many one-liners in that movies. And, I love Coen Brothers movies anyway. I've seen just about all of them. Some are funny, some aren't. But they're all good. I mean, they're good writers, good storytellers. The Big Lebowski, great movie. Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? It's another one of my favorite movies by them. And it is loosely crafted around the story of Ulysses. You have the sweater. Do you know that you can actually be a Lebowski, a big Lebowski minister and get your minister license as a big, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Yeah. And back before COVID and everything, there would be big Lebowski get-togethers at the bowling alley in West Sacramento. You know, how fun is that? How fun is that? That would be like a gas, right? And those musicians, I think they were German or something. Give me the money, Lebowski. They had their little, they had some kind of an animal. What was that animal? And he threw it in the bathtub. I can watch that movie and just laugh and laugh and laugh. Get out of, what does it say? Get out of my neighborhood, Lebowski, deadbeat. What was that? I wasn't listening. I mean, it's just great. I love that movie. I mean, I guess if I sat down, I could probably tell the whole story from beginning to end with many of the lines of the movie. It's just brilliant. Brilliant movies. Brilliant movie. Anyway. So, I don't number my episodes. I don't even know what number this is. Maybe it's like 6. Maybe it's more than 6. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. They were nihilists. They weren't nihilists. They were nihilists. Nihilism. Yeah, nihilism. They were nihilists. What did he say? They're not dangerous. They're nihilists. Oh my gosh. Walter was a kick, man. Walter was so like, I don't roll on Shabbos. It's so stupid. He's such a funny guy, and I could go on. Like the neighbor who does his little dance number, the guy that was like the landlord or something. I want you to come and see my my recital. It's the strangest thing. And then the kid, the kid that stole the homework. Did you steal this homework, Larry? Did you? I'm telling you, I can go on, and people are dropping off like flies at this point. So right now it's just you and me, Uli. So I think that's a good note to say good evening, and I'll catch you later, and we'll have to talk about. I'd love to visit you guys in Berkeley soon. The weather's perfect for it. Okay, so I will probably see you next Wednesday. All right. So you take care, and here we go.